stream over for me and lead it instead, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah? And my channel will become a gaming channel. That is good to know. Hello, everybody. Sorry for that. Welcome to the July edition of the Writers Wrap Up with my wonderful guests and co-hosts that you see. I am Sarah, and I can hear my phone in the background. Let's take that away. I'm your host today, Sarah. Does everyone want to go around and quickly introduce themselves?
Yes.
Where are we starting? Oh, me? Okay. Hi, guys. I'm Cass. I kind of make content. I'm working on it. I recently started working, so it's going to be a lot slower than it already was. But I try to make reading, writing, and analytical content about things that interest me, TV shows, movies, stuff like that. Um, and I write in my free time and read when I can. Yeah, that's me. Okay.
Hi, I'm Ashley B Pedego. I am a writer for children and adults, a singer-songwriter, and I host productivity sprints over on Twitch. Your turn.
Hey everyone, my name is Chandra Arthur. I am an author, tuber, an occasional Twitch streamer, and I write about science fiction, historical fiction, fantasy, and horror. I'm also half of Flash Fiction Live, which you can catch on Saturday mornings at 8:30 on either my channel or Natalie Locke's channel. And of course, I'm here. So I'm one of the co-hosts of the Writers Wrap Up, so you can catch us at the end of the month.
And I am Nia, the Vixen of Fiction, here on YouTube, Instagram, and occasionally I'm on Twitch. I write historical fiction, sci-fi, fantasy with a little romance and supernatural mixed in. I'm a mom of 4 and a Loki mom. You can hear him, he's grumbling because I'm talking and not talking to him. I host Author Tubers React. I'm one of the co-hosts with this wonderful Writers Wrap Up, and I also host Scripting the Book. Natalie is one of my co-hosts on that, where we read a book, watch the adaptation, and then we talk about it once a month. So we will be bringing it back in September. We're taking August off, and I doing writing sprints at 7 p.m. on Tuesday nights. Yeah, at 7 p.m. Eastern time zones. So,
well, first off, Nia, what you could do is just keep your mouth towards the mic, but talk to Loki. But you're talking about the stuff that you do. You're like, yeah, and I stream on Tuesdays at 7, right? Okay,
that might work.
And my dog just came up, and she's like,
It's
what?
for me.
It works.
Tell me more.
On Tuesday?
All right.
7?
I am Natalie Locke. Links down below. I am the other half of Flash Fiction Live. That's Saturdays at 8:30 in the morning, and I also do Scripting the Book, which excited for. And I am a mom of 2.
That's a horror.
Spencer Norlock. All right. So, mom of 2, this is the youngest. The other one's, yeah, she's still up and about. And I, God, what else do I do? Flash fiction. Yeah, that's my jam right now. And it's kind of genre hopping. Today at 7 p.m. over on Twitch, which I do every Sunday, I will draft live one of these prompts, which for me will be episode 157. And there's 200 in this, and I'm trying to get all 200 done and other flashes because I can't just stay to the book. I'll have that done by the end of the year. And then I will produce live or share live and with video my editing process with all of them and like show the before and after and how it got better.
Oh, that's cool.
That's so cool.
Okay, how it got better in my mind, it's actually subjective, but yeah.
So, for those of you who don't know, the Writers Wrap Up is where we get together once a month at the end of the month and basically talk about our ups and downs, what we've achieved, what we might have missed, and then we go ahead and we make some plans for the upcoming month. This is Camp NaNoWriMo month, so we'll probably try and squeeze in a sprint at some point just to give anybody watching or anybody here Caught you on camera. Chance to just get some last minute words in. So yeah, anybody taking part in Camp NaNoWriMo this month? Yeah?
I mean, I'm
How's
not
that going for
publishing
you?
on the website, but I am tracking things. If I published on the
Yes.
website, it would have been one flash each day. So it would have just been like one word each day, but I know
Yeah.
that represented the task of getting a flash done. And I've been able to post that on Instagram. And I got an Instagram highlight reel of my summary each day of how long I was drafting for or drafting an outline, and then how many words I got and which prompt it is. And then I plan to also do superlatives of the flashes as well.
Cool.
But that'll be tomorrow. That's tomorrow's Natalie's problem, not today. We're gonna rein it in. I still gotta edit videos though.
Yeah, a lot of people will take part nowadays and not use the website because the website got updated and the website is trash.
Because they got rid of the Camp Nano site like a bunch of dummies. But that's just my hot take.
And they got
For
rid
me,
of all of the good stuff about the Camp Nano site as well. And
yeah, I update on an Excel spreadsheet anyway. Why am I going to duplicate my postings and stuff? Because my spreadsheet I love, because I also set it up where I have what is my average number of words per minute, what is how many hours total did I spend this week just writing, not including editing, or because I don't edit. It's the whole purpose right now is to just draft these, and what ends up on the paper ends up on the paper. So like,
it's catered to you.
I don't get that from the Nano website.
Yeah. I've learned that for camp, unlike during November when you're drafting a novel, usually for camp I'm doing like a revision or something like that, and I'm also home with kids. They're home the whole time, and seeing the progress not go up every day is discouraging in a way that when I'm watching it go up every day for Nano, because I'm drafting and I'm actually doing the words, that's more encouraging, where especially when I'm revising and I'm like, oh, I lost 500 words. So then the chart dips down and it's disappointing.
Yeah, that used to really frustrate me. I'm beyond the point of caring about it at the moment. I've just been so demotivated this entire year. I'm just like, oh look, I didn't write for the first 7 days of Camp NaNoWriMo. Oh well.
That's why my goal is I don't try to do words or whatever, and that's why I'm trying to look at other aspects, such as technically with these flash fictions, it's a task-oriented thing. So it's not as long. It could be 100 words or 1,000. I don't like to go over 1,000, even though I know some places say 1,500 words or less as a flash, but for me it's 1,000. And my thing is just get it done. Like, that's the goal. The goal is for it to exist, and so therefore I don't get held up on the words. I am trying to work on upping my words per minute though. So
I've been doing camp this month. I'd set a goal of 10,000 words, which was very doable for me. And then I haven't tracked it, but I know I made my goal.
And I'd second you made your goal just from the little conversations we've had of what we're working on. And you're there.
I did free writing, and I have marked where I started writing for camp, and it's all by hand, so that's part of why I haven't counted all of that. And then I did my outline for a separate project. So I did free writing for 2 different projects. I did an outline for one of the projects, and then I started drafting again for that project. So between all of that, I know I have 10,000 words. It's just I have to go in and put it in there. And I'm not going to put it on a specific day or anything. I'm just going to be like, here's a chunk. Here's and
Speaking of here's the chunk, okay, you guys know I'm only in it for the badges. I sign up. I always put what I know I can do for the month. And the busier the month, the lower I'll make my camp goal. So last time I set it really low and I was like, oh, I really could have done more. So this time I was like 20,000. That was my goal. I know how much I write every day. So I'm like, that I can get. But then I go and I look, what are the badges? this time. So I'm pretty sure I've got all my badges, but there's 2 that I need to fill out for today. But so that's the only reason why I use the site. Like, I just want to see that I get the badges. I don't know. It's a thing.
Yeah.
With me. But it does keep me like, it keeps it interesting. Like, oh, update twice. Okay, I can do that. Just little things. But when I go in and I haven't updated in a few days, even though I know I've written every day, I don't like to see that flat line. Something about it bugs the crap out of me.
Yeah.
I'm like, that flat line. Or if you only write a few words and it barely looks like it's moving, I'm like, I don't like it. I don't like seeing that.
Do you hate notifications on your phone too, and you got to clear those out?
Oh yeah, I tap
email. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That didn't used to bother me until I organized all of my apps by color, and now it drives me crazy.
Because you've got red in the middle of the blue.
Yeah, it's like, why is this ever? The red's supposed to stay here, but why is it everywhere? But I also have to leave anything like any notifications. And I know actually this is on my to-do list. So if you have something in my DMs, I'm going to get to you. But I can't check those because if I like open it, then it doesn't exist anymore.
I did that with the notification when she sent me the link to this live stream because I was like, if I clicked it, if I go into it and I read it, it is going to suddenly be out of mind, out of existence. And it just, I'm going to forget about it. I was like, I have to. So what I did is I opened the notification. I went onto my laptop and opened it. So I was just in here like super early. So I'd have it open at all times. So if I forgot and I looked at my computer, I'd be like, oh yeah, live stream. But I did that when she gave me the link. I was like, I can't read it right now. I read her message as soon as it was sent, but I couldn't actually click into the notification because they would go away. And then I'd be like, what was I doing again? Like, it's so bad.
I feel like I'm forgetting something.
Yeah.
Okay, so you put in
the
that
amount
you
of
can
times
you can back update. I'm like so glad. The first time I did Nano, I did not know you could back update, and I was like so mad. I had like this flat line for days that I knew I wrote, but because I hadn't checked the site, and I'm like, no. But then the next one that I did, because I did NaNoWriMo first. I didn't do a camp. My first thing was NaNoWriMo, so I was so upset. I hit the goal, but that I had these chunks of flat line where I'm like, I don't check the site every day. I don't check any site every day. So I don't even check my emails every day. So it just made me crazy. And then I found out for the following camp that you could go back and I was like, oh, thank goodness, because this flat line is just drives me nuts. So now I can relax about that. I don't have to see it. I just don't want to see it.
Since we talk about like keeping notifications and being aware, do any of y'all set your clocks back if you can, like a smidge, so it, or set it forward so it makes it seem like it's later than it actually is, so that you're actually on time?
Yes. Yeah. I don't know how that tricks me, but it works. Like it shouldn't.
And it can't be too much time, because if it's too much time, you're like, oh, that's 10 minutes fast. I got 10 minutes. Like
10 minutes.
Like,
or
me,
somebody will go, hey, your clock is wrong.
Yeah.
Like I learned my wall clock right now, the batteries are dying, so it says it is it's actually 3 minutes slower than the time on my laptop. So I'm a little perturbed and gonna fix that.
Yeah, I can't do that. My brain, I just get stressed out then doing math all day, and I'm like, no.
Yeah.
But I do set like timers and stuff on my home system or sometimes on my phone. It's like instead of just setting like an alarm for something, to set a reminder so that my home system will read out to me, hey, you need to do this because X is happening and you said you wanted to do that. And I will use those words when I set the reminder to be like, you want to go to the yoga class at 4:00, and I'll have it say that at 3, so I can like start to think about getting ready and everything. But it reminds me like, oh yeah, I do want to do that. The reason I was going to go is because I wanted to.
Yeah.
Like
I do that for myself. I have alarms set, and then you can on my phone you can put like notes or whatever for that alarm, and I'll literally write like, because of this thing, like hydrate, because it keeps your body, like, whatever, like take your vitamins because you need them, like, kind of thing, because if I read that, I'm like, "Oh, yeah." I'm more inclined to do it if I have a reason for it, because my brain is very
Tie
much
it to a goal that you already had.
yeah, because my thing, I also found that this is why I did so bad in school, because my teachers often say, because that's how it is. I cannot learn like that. I cannot get stuff done. I need a reason. My brain is so oriented on like the why of everything. Like if you cannot give me a solid why as to why this thing is the way it is or why it works the way it does, I'm gonna ignore you and be like, nah, not doing it. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. And I've always been like this. Like always since I was a kid. I have no idea, but it's just the way
For
my
me,
brain is.
it's especially in the morning too, like when I need to get out of bed a little earlier than I would usually. I have to have that reminder. Like I'll set an alarm and then my reminder will be like, 15, 20 minutes later, be like, hey, this is for this thing because you want it. Remember. And then I'm like, oh yeah, I do want that actually. Let me get up now.
Gotta
All
go.
of- All
That
of
makes me
the, I'm sorry. All of the alarms on my phone right now just have to do with food. It's
That's
just
valid.
relatable.
hey, don't forget to eat. So you have to start, if you want to be able to eat, you have to start making the food now. Hey, don't forget that you like to have a snack right about now. So in about 30 minutes when you're angry because you didn't snack.
That is
Y'all want it?
That's the alarm I need.
You said an
Because
alarm.
I will get to the point where I am either now I'm cranky or I'm going to pass out. And I'm like, oh no, why did I forget that today? Because I'll just go from one task to the other. Not that I don't eat. I do eat and I love food. But I'm very task. Once I get rolling on tasks,
yes,
everything else can just...
That's why I had a late lunch. I was literally telling you about that before this year started. I had a late lunch because I was cleaning and because I was doing laundry and I was so task oriented that my brain just went, hold on a second.
Yeah.
You need food. You haven't
And I
eaten in
hate
a couple
pausing
hours.
in the middle of it.
yes.
See, I see that. And it's like
Right.
when I'm working by myself, there's no interruption, so I don't have time to like notice that I'm hungry. Versus when I'm with other people and I'm doing stuff and they'll say something and then I'll be like, hey, we have 30 minutes to feed me before I lose my mind. So but I can do that because there's that interruption.
You mentioned having an alarm and then 15 minutes later, I have one for every like 5 minutes because my brain is like, out of sight, out of mind, doesn't exist. You turned your alarm off before you even did the task, so
I will
we gotta
say,
forget. So
my
I
home
have
system, where I actually have to speak to it and say, like, acknowledge what it's called and then be like, snooze the alarm. When I'm really tired and if I really need to wake up, I can't remember what the name of the home system is.
Oh, no.
So I've had the alarm going off in the background and I'm like, Elisa, I'm just like, I keep saying this news, but I can't.
Sammy Swanson.
Like, you know who you are. Please snooze. Please.
You can't just yell snooze.
I have my alarms set to where I have to turn them off. They won't go off after a certain amount of time because if that I realize that if I have that setting on where it's like snooze after like 5 minutes or whatever, like it literally I'll do that and I'll fall back asleep like for my waking up alarm and then I won't get back up. So I have it set to where I literally have to go into my phone and turn it off if I want it to shut up because I won't forget if I have to do that.
Or set your phone not within reach of the bed.
Yes.
Like, you have to actually get up and go grab it.
Yeah.
Have you seen that one where snooze is like, I don't remember where I saw this, but it's an alarm that you can throw. And so when you throw it, that's snooze. But then you actually have to get up and go find it the next time it goes off.
Oh.
Let me guess. It's made by Nokia.
It is?
That would stress me out. That would stress me out too much, I think. That would be like, no, I can't find it. Stop the
I
noise.
would be laying there like, do I want to snooze bad enough to get up and have to go find it?
Yeah.
The thing is, I don't have the energy to throw. Like, I did see a TikTok where it said if you had trouble waking up, when your alarm goes off, immediately slither out of bed if you have to, lay down on the floor, and then slowly get up on all fours, crawl your way to the bathroom, whatever you got to do next or whatever. But just make it so that you're doing something, even if it's just like the most physical comedy ever. But like that is better than staying in bed. And I was like, you know what? My husband might make fun of me, but I might just do
I was
that.
gonna say, imagine having a significant other and then being like, "What are you doing?
What are you doing?"
Don't judge me.
The amount
You
of
have your
times
coffee. I have this.
This
the
is
amount
my
of times
process.
I've taken a nap on the sofa and I've woken up and I'm like, I don't want to get up. I don't want to get up. And I literally just slide myself off the sofa onto the floor. Like, I'm not bothered to stand up. Let me just do this while I'm moving.
So
I was in the
that.
middle of playing video games with my son, like full on playing a video game and going like that, just nodding off. And I was like, I can't play anymore. And I ended up taking a little bit of a nap on the couch. It's something about the couch is comfortable.
yes.
I need to make my bed that comfortable, but something, I don't know.
I think it's because when you're on the couch, you're telling your brain, oh, you don't have to sleep. You're just going to rest for a minute. You're just going to close your eyes. It'll be like
The old
5
facade.
seconds. Yeah, and you like psych yourself out, and the next thing you know, 4 hours later.
What year is it?
I have a question. So, like I said, I have like 1,000 alarms set, one for like every like 5 minutes. So I have an initial alarm, and then like 5 minutes later, 10 minutes later, 15 minutes later. I usually have like 4 separate alarms for each thing I need to do, so I don't forget. Do y'all do that? If you're like this, do you do that thing where like one of your alarms goes off, so you turn it off, and then you are doing the thing, and then your other one goes off, and you get angry because your alarm is screaming at you, and you're like, I'm already doing the task. Because I get like that.
I listened the first time this time. Never mind the other 50.
My watch actually has a thing now because I set like quiet hours, so it goes into do not disturb and does all that stuff. But now, when I actually get up, my alarm will send me a notification. It'll be like, hey, it looks like you're up. Do you want to turn your alarm off?
Oh.
And I'm like, yes, thank you. I would love that.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't have that on my phone. My phone just screams at me for another like 20 minutes. I'm like, I'm doing the thing.
Here's a tip that because when I was like traveling for work, I had crazy hours and I was tired like all the time. But then I had the emergency of like, I got to be at work. Like, so what I did is I set my alarms, and I did multiple alarms, but the first alarm was like glide into the day music, you know. The second alarm was a little bit more upbeat and everything. My fifth alarm was screaming metal immediately. Of like, whoa, like my phone is screaming at me, going, "Wake up!" You know.
Yeah.
But I made the music progressive. That way, also, it was a trigger in my head of like, no, I got one more song before it's like a no kidding. Do you even want to breathe while you're throwing clothes on?
I get myself out of bed the same way I do everything, which is by motivating myself with food. So I have like a little I like to get up earlier than everybody else in my house because I like to do the morning pages, like the 3 pages of longhand, don't look at it, awful journaling. And so I'll put like a little snack right next to my morning pages. So I have my journal and my pen and my little snack, and I set that out at night. And then when I wake up, I'm like, ooh, I can get up and get a snack. And then I'm already here and it's already set up, so I might as well do the thing. Because I know I feel better when I go and I do the journaling, but sometimes the bed is just better.
So really, it's
for the
past.
bribery.
It is so hard for me to get out of bed because I live with my parents. They keep their house so cold. So in the mornings, it's so hard to get out of bed because I'm like, if I step out of bed, even put my leg out of the blanket, I'm gonna turn into a freaking popsicle. Like, it's freezing. I'm like, dude, I cannot function when it's this cold. I'm just like trying to go through my morning routine, like.
So
like
as long as our
shivering.
past selves are forward thinking enough of laying clothes out or like maybe get like a nice robe or something to throw
I'm
on
looking
immediately
at it.
when you get out of bed, like or have your couch blanket or something. I have a desk blanket and everything, fuzzy socks, whatever. Like I always try to make my past self nice to my future self.
Yes.
Because I don't know the mood
I
my
do that.
future self
Yeah,
is going to be in.
I want to
Yeah.
do this for me. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it for myself for my birthday or Christmas, but a coffee maker that you can turn on from your phone. So you
Nice.
preset it up, and then instead of having it go off at a specific time, just whenever you wake up, you can set it to run so that coffee, like you get that smell, and like, you know.
I
but
want
then
that
also,
for a dryer.
Yeah.
Because like,
Yes.
the thought of like you're cold, like let me put a robe or a blanket or something in the dryer, and then from my phone wake up and be like, all right, I want this thing warmed up, and then run to the dryer and grab it when it's ready,
And grab
and
it,
then cuddle on
and
the
then,
couch.
like,
That sounds delightful.
oh,
I
Or
never.
get your
and then- but
robot
have
to
the-
get it out. Get your robot to get it out of the dryer and bring it to you. Because
Perfect.
And then since I don't drink coffee, I'll do the coffee maker to make coffee maker for hot water, so I can have some hot
tea.
chocolate, marshmallows, hot tea,
So,
whatever.
No, that one actually, it can do coffee. I think it can do hot chocolate as well, but I know it does coffee and tea. I don't remember the brand name. I'll have to look it up.
Yeah, no, send it. I gotta see this thing.
I've
Yeah.
also realized that something helps me, at least this is for my vitamins, is that, like, you know how I said you could put, like, little notes underneath your alarm or whatever? I have my be, like, progressively more passive-aggressive to me to get it done. Because it's like, so, like, my first alarm is literally like, hey, take your vitamins. And my second one's like, no, seriously, take your vitamins. Quit procrastinating, take your vitamins. And I'm like,
Like,
Yeah, see, my last one would be like cussing at myself,
Yeah.
I'd be like, B, if you do not take your vitamins, like,
that's how mine get. Mine are literally more, like, just progressively more aggressive. I don't know why it works. Like, I find that for me personally, passive aggression works better. Like, aggressive love works better than, like, just a kind love. Like, if someone's like, you're the best person, I'm like, don't know about that. If someone's like, no, you're the best person ever, I'm like, oh, you're right. Like,
Duolingo, I used to do that to learn German, Deutsch, and it was so funny because I like skipped a few days, and after like 3 days, Duolingo came back with a little push notification says, yeah, so we're gonna stop bothering you because you're not doing it. I was like, excuse me.
Yeah.
Like it was something along those lines of like, obviously you don't need us, so we'll stop sending you push notifications. Like, ouch. Gosh, and apparently I'm gonna need that for a
harsh.
And now,
Yeah.
like, I've ignored it for so long. It's like, come back, we miss you.
Like everything else that I'm joined on is like has turned into that character that was broken up with but doesn't get the hint. Like DirecTV still notifies me going, come back. And I'm like, dude, it's been 6 years. Like, I mean, there's just so many, like AT&T still comes at me. And I'm like, you told me you couldn't beat T-Mobile's prices. Why are you calling? Like, no.
Okay, so this is a sidebar completely not related to writing at all, but I had one company where I'd like changed my insurance because they couldn't, like, it just kept getting more expensive and they weren't doing anything for me. So I called to cancel and she was like, oh, did you find another insurance company? I'm like, yeah. And she's like, who'd you go with? And I told her, because like, I'm leaving, I don't care. And she like starts going off about how that company isn't any better and like they're like so expensive, like, and I'm just like, okay. Like,
Well,
what did they slight you?
Can you
like,
beat those prices? Because if not,
I'm gonna
then
go there.
goodbye.
Yeah.
Can you do better? Because this is what they quoted me at. What can you do?
Well, exactly, and that was the thing. Is like I was actually paying for, like, you know, because it's like bundled policies or whatever. I was actually paying more for one thing, and I was like, I don't care because they have better customer service and they also have actual roadside assistance. Whereas
And they don't yell at me.
Yeah.
This one.
So to tie this back to writing, when you're looking for an editor or something, sometimes bundling is not necessarily the best option of I'm skilled at this. Don't judge me.
You're doing great.
But like, so you want the people who are specialized in those specific fields. Like developmental editing is, it's better if they're specialized in it than if they're diverse, because then they might miss more. So you might as well just, like, my opinion is pay for the specific type of editing you need in the process versus getting someone who's like, yeah, do it all. No, because when you're doing it all, you can't, even in your own writing, when you've read your own writing, and it's been a while, so let's remove the fact that you're going to start like filling in and putting in the gaps yourself. When you're reading it, you can't catch everything in the first pass. It takes a few passes. That's the same thing for an editor, unless they're just looking for developmental or just looking for grammar, copy editing. I don't know all the editing types, but still, you get my point.
Back.
So don't bundle your editors is my point.
Yeah.
This is unrelated, kind of, but my parents are out of town. They're coming back, and they said that they'd be home in like 20 to 30 minutes. I was going to say, I will probably be muting myself in like 20 to 30 minutes, but chances of me remembering that are not likely. So if you hear dogs screaming at any point, I'm so sorry. Just letting you know now, the dogs will probably scream in like 20 or 30 minutes.
So tying that back to writing, when you're querying an agent, you want to pay attention to whether they're on vacation or not, and so don't send it to them. They're not going to they're going to have a big list, but do pay attention if agents have animals, because apparently they will latch on to that, and you can be like, I have dogs too, and such. Next challenge.
Beautiful analogies.
Wonderful.
Love it.
Oh, querying.
This is my new favorite game.
Not fun memories.
What's just the random situation that has seen how many you can come up with?
No,
Sarah,
this
are
is
you
so.
still
I think the
querying?
only reason I'm semi good about this is because I've had conversations with people where they're like, "Oh, the person's not in the room, are they?" And I'm like, "No." And they start talking, and then the person that they're talking about comes in the room, and I'm like, "So that's an excellent point," and I like switch it. I'm awesome with it. Saved a few friends.
Meanwhile, I'm over here like I am that person that's like, I'll let you keep talking. The person's in the room, and I'm just gonna be looking
Yeah,
back
I'm the
close
same.
until you figure it out. Just be like,
I've had friends that are just like, I don't care, they can hear it, and I'm like, all right, well, come here, come on, come
okay,
into the
then
group.
say it to the face.
All right.
Why say it behind the back if you don't care?
You know, it's funny because I had that happen, and it was like, it was one of those things where I'm like kidding on the square, but if you worked in service, you know how it is when you have to roll silverware at the end of the night. And I'd sorted and I had my spoons, whatever. Someone that I actually liked and got along with and enjoyed working with came and took my spoons, and I was like, man, like I'm gonna stab him with a spoon, is what I said. And then somebody thought that they were gonna stir the pot and went and told him that I said that, and he was like really offended. And came back to me and was like, "Did you say that?" I was like, "Yeah, you took my
Yes.
spoons. I said that." And he was like, "Oh." And he like the way they'd said it made it seem like I wouldn't say it to them, and I was like, "No,
Yeah.
I won't."
No, I will.
I am 100%
say it
that
to your face.
person. Yeah, I'm 100% that person. Like, I will say something to somebody, and if you want to turn around and say it to them, like, as if I wouldn't say their face, and they come to me, I'm like, yeah, I'll tell you exactly what I just said, verbatim. Like, I remember exactly what I said. Here's what
And
it
it's
is.
actually better to
And
come
not
from
only
you
that, but
because
I'll never tell you person anything ever again. So
Exactly.
Mhm.
But the thing is that if the segue person or whatever you want to call them, the middle person, they might butcher what you said and take it out of context and everything. So it might as well just come straight from you, anyways.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Yeah.
I also want to say for legal reasons, it was a joke.
I hope so. The amount of
No,
force you would have to use
Form.
to stab someone with a spoon, I would hope
Hey.
you were joking. That sounds exhausting.
I've threatened my siblings with stabbings of spoons before because they were ticking me off. I was like, I have a spoon, and he was like, "What are you gonna do?" I was like, "I will stab you with this spoon." He goes,
Okay.
"You can't." I'm like, "Keep testing me." Watch.
But have you seen the Chronicles of Riddick where he's like, "I'll stab you with my teacup,"
I mean,
and then
I've been that angry.
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
it's such a good movie, one of my all-time favorites.
I have to watch that one.
It's funny.
Right.
I've gotten into a habit of saying I will stab you with insert random object that shouldn't be stabbable here, like, because I just get so angry sometimes. I'm like, I have an object where it can literally be something so benign, like just so much ridiculous. I'm like, I will hurt you with this. Like, I will test me. Like, try it.
Oh, that's
But-
funny.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
No, I'm
what
100%
have you accomplished?
non-confrontational, so I will just rant to myself in my head about how much I hate the person or what's just happened. I'm like, I'm not going to say this to your face, but I swear to God.
Honestly,
It depends on the person for me. Sorry, you
my
were
work bestie is first of all, she's a saint because she deals with me when I forget to eat. But like she's also very direct with me, which is good because most of the time when people are like, hey, you might want to think about eating, and I'll just be like, I'll eat when I'm finished with this, versus having a friend who'll be like, hey, you're in a really bad mood because you haven't eaten, so go put food in your face and don't talk to me until you do.
Yeah.
I love the Snickers commercial where it's you're not you when you're hungry. And I'm like, I personally would love to be Betty White when I'm not hungry. I think that one would really, or Joe Pesci. Joe Pesci would be a good one too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh,
So-
love the outlining of the new idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Stephanie
Nice.
crushed it.
Meanwhile, I only
Look
got
at
like 787 words, I think, for the month.
You're not
That's
late, Stephanie. Don't
fantastic.
worry.
that's awesome.
I'm just looking at everyone who like got stuff done this month and like,
Yeah.
thank you.
You
Yeah,
got
I-
things
Done,
done.
guys.
Yeah,
I got things done, but I also am feeling all of the things that I haven't got done because I had a philosophy when the panini first happened and everything got shut down and everything was thrown into chaos. I was like, you know what? I can't schedule things because I don't know what's going to happen. And now that things are trying to go back to normal, I'm like, nothing is scheduled and I don't know what's happening. So I'm like, I feel like I need to do like a switchback and try to get myself on track. So it's been weird, but
Yeah.
I got things done. I did win Nano, so I got my 20,000 words. And I'm sure I did other things. Yeah. But because
Probably.
I'm not tracking everything, I don't know what they are.
I was
I'm
doing
trying-
really good at the beginning of the month, and then I got the ham pizza, and so I've been recovering from that, and this week has just been getting caught up. So today, I think I got more done in a day than I have the whole rest of the month.
Yeah.
I try not to be too hard on myself because I didn't know that I was going to be starting this new job as soon as I did. Because I was still waiting for certain things to work out with like everything. And so they were like, "Oh, hey, by the way, you're working on like Monday." This was like 2 weeks ago. So this is on Monday. Tomorrow it'll be 3 weeks. It'll be my third week of this job. And I didn't know that I was going to be working as soon. So I was like, yeah, I could do NaNoWriMo. I can like look at other jobs while I'm waiting to hear back from if I'm going to get this one, whatever, like. And then it's like, oh, hey, you're working. I'm like, oh, okay. And now I work from like I leave the house at 6:30 in the morning. I wake up earlier than that, but I leave the house at 6:30. I'm there by 7, and then I'm working until like 5:30, 6 o'clock in the afternoon. And by then, I'm exhausted and I don't want to do anything
Yeah.
because I'm tired. Um, so I try to understand. Like I'm trying to be kind to myself and understand like that is taking so much out of me, and that on the weekends, then that's spent doing laundry, tidying my room because I didn't have time that like during the weekday because I was working and stuff like that, and just trying to reconcile the fact that like yeah, I didn't get as many words done as I would have liked. I was trying to hit, I think it was like 15,500 words or something along the lines of that, and I only have like 787, so nowhere near like what I wanted, not even 1,000 words. But I'm also trying to be kind to myself and understand that like this job I'm making money, which is good. Like I'm excited for that and I can start saving up and all of this stuff, and I'm trying to be understanding of like this the stress of my work and like my work situation trying to find a job is now being resolved, but the kind of what is it called, the
There's a trade-off for the
Trade-off, that's the word. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. The trade-off to that is I don't get to write as much. So I'm
Yeah.
trying to. I got
It's
787 words, and I've been
progress is
working and
progress.
making money,
Yep.
but I just haven't been writing as much as I would have liked. So
Yeah. And
Yeah,
hopefully
I've
you'll
been
get, as
feeling that
time goes
struggle as
on, you
well.
with the job, you'll be able to find the balance and be like, okay, this is how I
Yeah.
can get things to work. But it's new
Yeah.
still, so that's exciting.
yeah.
Speaking of new, I was just reading in the chat, and Sin, that's pretty awesome, got hired for their first design job.
Oh, that's
I'm
awesome.
excited.
Well done,
for
Sin.
you.
That's so
That's
cool.
amazing.
I was
So,
looking over here. Morgan revised half the book. We wanted to get the whole thing, but I mean, getting half the book revised is huge.
Yep. That is still huge.
Mhm.
And in a
And I hope
month
you feel
too.
better. Migraine sucks.
Yeah, that's huge.
That's huge.
Revision takes the amount of time that it takes. I think it's really hard to like, okay, I'm gonna be done with it by this amount of time, and
Because you don't know.
because sometimes
Yeah, you never
you
know
hit a
what's gonna.
snag and you're just, well, I cannot go on until I story my way out of this problem, and sometimes that takes 30 minutes of work and sometimes it takes 30 days.
I was actually, when you said you hit a snag, I was thinking about it. Editing really is like brushing your hair. Sometimes you start at the end and you like get a certain amount, and then you go up to the top, and then you. And having
Yeah.
really curly hair, it's like you work out
Then you
the
got
knots.
this
how
big
you
chunk
work
of
out
knot
the
just
knots.
there.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
And then once you work that out, then it's like, okay, but I had to stop to get that. I couldn't just keep going and leave it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're left with that snag in your hair. And that's not
Yeah.
good.
And
You
I do
gotta-
want to say, like mental health is a thing. So like sometimes, I don't remember where I saw this. Like, yes, you want to brush your teeth for 2 minutes, like you're supposed to, but also brushing your teeth for 30 seconds is better than not brushing your teeth at all. So like whatever you can get done, do that, and like you're still awesome. And I know we segued from like writing to this, but I think it applies all the way across the board of like
I don't even have to tie it together. Your mental health affects your writing.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, and so
100%.
taking care of yourself is going to make better writing. That's my segue there.
Always be happy with what you managed to do.
There's a
Yes.
great TikTok. I'll try to find it and see if I can leave it in like the comments or something. But it did such a good job of explaining that sometimes just doing what you can is so much of an accomplishment that it's not even comparable to what you could have done with your mental health being perfect, theoretically speaking. Like the fact that you're dealing with mental health issues and you got as much done as you did, even if it in comparison is very little, is not comparable to what you could have done with your mental health being perfect and you not struggling. Those aren't comparable. As much as we like to try to do that because we live in a very like hustle culture kind of society, those two things are not comparable. And the more you try to compare them, and the more you're going to beat yourself up, and the more you're going to make yourself unnecessarily suffer.
Yeah.
But
You should always try and do your best, and sometimes your best is up here, and sometimes your best is here.
Yeah.
Well, the
But
other thing too,
you're still doing your best.
Even if you set a goal and then like taking care of you and your mental health is like, reducing that, or making an adjustment during the middle of you working on the goal, that's not failing. That's not meeting your goal. That's reevaluating practical and taking care of yourself, and realizing that if you don't make that adjustment by yourself, like through your own determination, you don't look at it and say, oh, this isn't going to work, I'm going to need to adjust this because I've got too much going on. Life will adjust it for you, and maybe not in the way that you would want. So it is better. And I'm saying this as much to like at sharing as much as I'm saying it to myself. It is better to manually adjust because you can versus, having life adjust for you.
Yeah. I truly believe the planning that you're doing, Chandra, the cleaning that I forget who said it earlier, cleaning, like I actually need to stop. Like I think that's what I'm gonna do, since tonight is the last time I'm doing a flash for like a week. that is going to be my time to like maybe write a to-do list of what's next and everything. Maybe like declutter and everything, because I know that the amount of relief and just the weight off the shoulders feeling that brings of where I have a plan and I have like decluttered, not cleanliness and stuff, like it just so good. It's such a good feeling.
Yeah.
I might watch the home edit for or get organized for inspiration.
When I'm in the
One
middle
the
of a
reasons-
project.
Oh, sorry.
Oh no, I'm sorry. You go ahead.
No, you go.
Oh, all right. Okay. But now I can't remember what I was going to say, so it's your turn.
Oh no. It's one of the reasons
I'll take the hit for that.
It's one of the reasons why I stopped giving myself deadlines. Because if I gave myself a deadline and then something happened and I didn't hit that deadline, I would feel so crappy about, despite life and despite it not being my fault and despite, you know, other stuff getting in the way, I'd feel so crappy that I did not hit my deadline. So I just stopped making them because they don't work for me, and I don't want to sort of relate writing to have any sort of negative feeling because it's such a struggle to get any done now as it is.
That is why I started making my list of 300 things where I don't have to get them all done. I just see what areas I make the most progress in. And then I set more goals in those areas instead of trying to, like, you know, just get all 300 things done. It's more like a challenge to be like, oh, like you had a ton of stuff that you would have liked to get done, but here's how many things you did get done. And to be just excited about being able to make a full list and, you know, see how far I get out for fun. Not you have to do all of this.
Yeah, having that, being able to go back, like I used to, I'm kind of glad I've been saving the flash fictions and stuff, because now I can, like, the amount of scrolling I have to do through my folder now actually makes me feel better. I'm like, okay, I'm doing good. And the whole purpose is to exist. So being task oriented has helped. But also, when I do need to set a schedule, I always take whatever time that I'm setting for myself and I multiply it by 3, because I got kids, I got a full-time job, and then I just have like my own me time. And so that's why I use 3, is like these 3 things that would conflict with that goal. And that's why my goal gets multiplied by 3 for the timeline. So if I think 1 day, I give myself 3 days.
Ooh, that's so good.
I like that.
That is a good idea, yeah.
I've started doing this thing where I give myself 1 task a day. It could be a small task, it could be a big task that I can break up into smaller mini tasks, but 1 thing a day. And if I can't complete anything else, then I'll complete that 1 thing.
Yep.
And, you know, sometimes I realize that, like, oh, well, I actually can't complete that task today because, you know, that's too much. That's way too much more than I was. It's that whole thing of, like, your eyes are bigger than your stomach kind of thing, where you get more food than because you think you're going to eat it all, and then you realize that you don't have the space in your stomach for it. It's too much food. Kind of a similar thing. So if I need to change that goal, I will. But at the end of the day, if I can complete 1 thing, anything, it could be just a load of laundry. It can be, you know, this chapter of a story I'm working on, like writing. It could be revising, like, you know, a paragraph. 1 thing. Then I've accomplished my day. Like I've accomplished my day. You know what I mean? Like, kind of thing.
Yeah. I do like, I have what has to get done. Like if it's a day that, you know, I have my regular things, I don't need to write those down. Because I physically will just do my regular things. But if something comes up, I'm like, this has to be done. And then there might be a couple other things that I need to get done, but I don't have to get them done today. But if I get them done today, great. That's off the list. So that 1 thing, that's the one that I'm like, okay, this thing that has to be done today, make sure you get that thing done. And if I get that done, great. And then if I can get to the thing that maybe doesn't have to be done today, but it's on my list that I need, then, ooh, great, I got it done. But if I don't, I'm not stressing out too much over it, because I'm like, this didn't happen. This might go on to the tomorrow. This has to be done on that list. So yeah, that's kind of
Yeah.
like weeding away at the things that must be done versus the things, because otherwise I'd have just a long list of everything and I'd be like, no, everything must get done. And then when it doesn't, I'm that person that's like, why didn't I do all the things? And
I'm kind of working on that because that's been part of what I've been doing today. In Zara's stream, I went through and I did my whole schedule for August, and then I started making a to-do list because I've got all the stuff I need to catch up on from being sick. And we were talking a little bit about that. Zara was talking about like having 3 things to do every day. And someone else mentioned the 3-2-1. I think it was Tiffany. So I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch that part because I felt like there was a lot of really helpful stuff said.
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna try to take from this list and organize by like due dates and like priority, and then move it out across the next couple of weeks. So gradually, theoretically, I should get caught up.
Absolutely. Yeah, a lot of people have been doing really good things. Jennifer Brown, that yeah,
The short stories.
awesome.
Yeah,
that's switching projects. That's
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
Sometimes that can be the
Especially if you
healthiest
switch and
thing.
it makes you happy. It's
Yeah.
like that. Maybe that's what you were supposed to have been doing. So that's perfectly fine.
I will say there's different things that like reinvigorate my my joy for writing. There was Hannah's, I forget her last name, but she did the voice narrator for Zara Hoffman for Belgrave Legacy. She did a little bonus thing on Women's Day of like, hey, send me a little paragraph excerpt of your like, or your woman character like being like, I am woman, here we are. So I actually sent her 2 because I didn't see her post any. So I was like, hey, if you still need some, here's to help her out. And just hearing her say this stuff, hearing my words come from someone else's mouth gave me new passion for those projects. And I thought, not that I hate them or whatever, but it's just I haven't touched them in a while, and I'm like, I don't know, maybe. But there's times in writing that you get those new passions, and such as beta reader feedback, having that like a voiceover excerpt or something, was kind of nice. Or even just it's been a while and you go back and read and you find a line and you go, wait, did I write that? I wrote that. You know, those moments.
Yeah.
Like we need to make sure that they don't get shadowed or clouded by the moments where we're like, I must fix everything. Like we can just hold on to those happy moments, you know, think happy thoughts, Peter Pan. If we can just hold on to it, we'll be able to fly.
Yeah.
JC, I was looking at your comment about the 32,000, and first of all, that's fantastic. And also, like, I get that, and it's really hard to look back at the month and be like, what did I get done this month? I talk about using the Clever Fox planner, and that's one thing I do like about it, is that it does have your monthly review where you can go back and kind of take notes about what you got done every month. You like set your quarterly goals, and then it's like, what did I get done this month? And kind of comparing the two.
What planner was that?
The Clever Fox.
She'll be doing a review, but she's trying to get a full year out of it before she does it.
So this is my second year on their main planner. This year I also got their budgeting planner, which I have used as well. And I haven't reviewed that. I will at the end of the year. But this is my second year with their planner. And it has like it has a space for doing your like 1 year, 5 year, and I think it's 10 or 15 year plan. And so
I like that.
You do, it's like a whole setup. And then you've got space for like a mind map, your quarterly goals, and then your monthly review. And then it's got some like bullet style pages at the back. I know a bullet planner is like separate, right? It's
yeah.
So it has the dot grid pages.
Oh, okay.
Bullet journaling.
So you could form it into whatever you need it to be.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And honestly, that has helped me And I color code everything. So like different, I have different shapes for different things. Like anytime I'm working overtime or I'm picking up a shift, I have a color and a shape for that. You know, for different live streams, I have colors and shapes for that, and like personal appointments. That way, like it doesn't get too crowded, but it is. Oh, here's the other thing about the planner. This is my absolute favorite thing. I will never go back. It's undated. You write the date.
Oh,
Yes.
So if you
that's
skip
cool.
I
like
love
2
that.
months, your
it's
planner,
okay.
it's fine. It's not, your planner's not trash. You don't have to like, you know, it doesn't.
Because in this group, we talked about how we don't like flat lines, and a blank page is a flat
A
line.
flat
if it was
line.
predated.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you can literally go in and be like, you know what, I didn't have anything really going on, or I was on vacation for the month of June, and I'm just gonna skip it, and then I'll just, you know, pick up in July and keep going, and then at the end of the year, you know, I'll just start the next year and get another planner when I need another planner.
I like that.
Oh,
That's very
I like
cool.
it too.
Sarah, did you want to sprint? Oh,
Mhm.
she's gone. So you're back.
So my iPad's being stupid right now.
Oh no.
Aw.
Do you want to go ahead and do a sprint, or
Do you want to sprint?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
okay.
trying to find a page to Oh,
My parents
timer,
just
but
got
everything's
home.
being dumb.
Welcome home.
And I literally came back in my room and I was wondering for a second why I couldn't hear anything. And I was like, oh, yeah, my headphones are plugged into my computer. Of course, I'm not going to hear anything when I walk into my room. Like,
Done that before.
and then I said, oh, but before I even went downstairs to greet my parents, I also was trying to speak. I don't know if anyone saw this. I started trying to speak, and then it took me a minute to realize I was also muted.
Oh no.
Oh no.
We've done that a few times.
yes?
So
I-
many.
I play
No
music
idea what I was
when
saying.
I'm
Clearly
sorry.
not important. Oh, I was just saying, well, clearly I don't remember what it was, and I guess it wasn't important. So
I like to play music when I am sitting at the computer and doing work. But the other day I got called away before I got to do, you know, you have like the shutting down from work routine where you turn your music off and you put the headphones away and you kind of dust. I just had to like get up and go. And so I came back to my desk the next day and it was still playing my work playlist. It had just been playing in the headphones since
well,
We will work without you.
almost 24 hours. So my Spotify year in review is going to be funny.
It's gonna be like you showed a lot of support.
You really liked this one playlist. Just a
Yeah.
lot.
As a sidebar, I know we all like no blank pages
Yes.
and any kind of indication that we were productive. Clever Fox planners come with pages and pages of stickers.
I love stickers.
Yes.
I love stickers.
So,
Yes.
in case
And-
it's another incentive. I'm not sponsored yet,
Yes.
but
Yes.
did comment on my review of their stuff, so I feel it coming.
Yeah. And
I have a
JC,
question.
yes, this all the time. Like, even at the beginning of this, I'm like, I know I hit my Nano goals. Did I do anything else this month? And as I see, I'm like, yes, you did. You read all these books. You're helping your daughter plan a wedding. You've ordered all of these things. You're making all of these arrangements. You're making arrangements for family members who are coming for a whole week for a family reunion, vacation type thing. It's like, yes, you did do things. And it's like, oh, yeah. But at the beginning, I'm like, I know I won Nano. What else did I do?
Mhm.
I feel like you raise a really valid point, and it's something that we should start to do. Is like, you know, all the things that you do around the house to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, you know,
Yes.
you
Oh.
you did grocery shopping. Yay! That's
there
a thing.
were a
Laundry.
couple of YouTubers. I don't know if they do it anymore, but there was a thing for a short while where like some YouTubers were like, if you like got coffee this sprint, or if you drink water this sprint, then you get like 5 points or whatever, like kind of thing.
That sounds
We
like
should bring
Garrett.
that back.
That's cool.
We should bring that
Yeah.
back because a lot of quite a few like writer tuber, author tubers started doing that on live streams, and then it just suddenly stopped. I say that we should bring that back because I love that idea. Like, oh, you had a
I
cookie.
love
I'm gonna plug JC and Tiffany. They said that they're gonna have a bingo for August. That is
Oh,
a
that's
self-care.
fun.
It's a self-care bingo. So
love
we
that.
can do that, and then
That is fun.
I don't know
yeah.
who's doing
that.
the end of August wrap up yet because our schedules are insane. We might have to recruit somebody because it's on a Wednesday.
Oh
And
no.
I'm going to be in the middle of a family reunion, so I don't. But then if we can figure out who's going to do it, and then we can see if anybody did the self-care bingo and just see
Yeah.
how much we were able to take care of
Yeah.
ourselves, and if we can reflect on it, it's like, you know what, we need to take care of ourselves a little bit more. You know what I mean? But I love the idea of a self-care bingo, so
I do
Yeah.
too. I
I'm
like
looking
that.
forward to it.
That is
I have a
really
question.
Nice.
So I'm the kind of person where, like, once I start looking for something, it doesn't matter what it is. Once I start looking for the thing, I'm determined to find it, and I literally will not stop until I find it. Even if it means like tearing up my room, even if like it could be anything. Once I have my mind set on looking for the thing, I'm like, I will find it. That is what I'm doing with this TikTok. No idea what I was even looking for, but you know what? I will find it, and I will let you know when I find it.
It was
Like,
I relate to that. And it's definitely, I joke and say, it's not even about the thing anymore. It's that I
Yep.
will not be defeated.
it
Yes.
was about
Yeah.
doing things halfway is better than not doing
oh, thank you.
Yeah. I did it. I remembered.
All right, you guys ready to
Right.
sprint?
Yes.
My iPad is being dumb, and for some reason, it's not giving me the option to share my screen. So yay for that.
I think someone else can
So here's
share
my
their
phone.
screen, even if.
Do you want me to pop in on my desktop and share screen for a timer?
But I like
can
that
probably
you
do it.
figured out a way to do the timer.
I know that was
Awesome.
It's what I had to do in the not in the olden days, but it's what I had to do when I first started. If you're able to share your screen, absolutely
that.
give it a whirl. It might work a little better than that tiny little.
I might be
thing
able
I've
to
got
share
there.
mine if it's so you don't have to. Yes, Spencer.
On
Maybe.
on Thursday when I was doing the Twitch stream, the timer broke. It just wouldn't open.
Oh, no.
I'd never had a problem with it before, and it was broken. And I so the first
How long?
sprint was just me trying to fix a timer. I wanted to use that time in a different way. Silly
I
timer.
hate it when
But
stuff
this
like
is
that happens.
this is a great
Mm.
workaround. We could have just done that and then figured it out after it was over. But I fixed it.
And that's a 20-minute timer, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Let me.
I like your phone case.
yeah.
Oh,
It's
thank
cool.
you. Smitty.
Yes, it's very pretty.
Do me so me no.
That went through my head too. Oh my gosh.
Okay,
I got a timer if you're not connected yet.
I got one.
Okay.
You guys are so good at technology.
Chandra and I have a system when it comes to Flash Fiction Live. She's usually the timer. Even if we're on her channel, she does the
She
timer,
does
and
the
I always do
timer.
the banners.
Oh, I love it.
Success.
Magic. And it's Sarah's timer. I recognize this one.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
Loki loves that because he usually thinks I'm working.
The
So he
clicking.
will leave me alone.
Mm-hmm.
All the clicky.
Clicky keys.
All right.
Alright, so for anyone who still needs some Camp NaNoWriMo words, or needs to, I don't know, nap or get some tea or
Self-care
something.
points.
Yes.
Self-care, 20-minute sprint, everybody.
That sounds delightful.
All right.
That does sound delightful, actually. I might have to
Y'all
have to
ready?
do that one day. Self-care.
Ready.
Nap.
Yes.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
It's happening.
Okay, and that is the end of the sprint. And now buttons that I need to press. Oh, I don't need to press any buttons. Yay, thank you. What did everybody get done?
I'll go. So this month I was going to revise a novel that I had revised a couple times, and it was not going well. It's not been going well for like months. And so I had decided maybe I was going to put it away for a week. And during that week, I picked up my NaNoWriMo project from November, and I read it. It was a 0 draft. It hadn't been touched, and it was better than this 4th draft that I had been working on all year. It was just a better. It had better stakes. It had better characters. It was funny. I didn't want to write another sad story. I was just ready to talk about something else. So I've decided to go forward on this one and try and make it my next project and temporarily shelve the other one until I can kind of reconceptualize that project. So I got a notebook, as I do for all projects, and it's my revision book. So hopefully by the time I get to the end of this book, I will be ready to query. But basically what I did during that sprint was I wrote down everything that I hope that this book will be. Why I wrote it, some of the things, like the pieces of media that I think inspired it, even if you looked at the list and went, there's no way that goes in this book. The connection is there for me. Songs, movies, television, one episode of a television show, that kind of specificity. And I'm not done with the list or any of that, but kind of worked on that a little bit.
That is awesome, and I like the inspiration of including everywhere you gathered inspiration for the story. That's cool.
For me, when it gets really hard to do the revision because you're tired and you don't, I don't even know, having that list of things where you can immediately put yourself back in it, like, oh, if I listen to this soundtrack, it will help me feel more like that mood. Or if I watch this movie, I know that I'm going to be able to see my characters in there, or like that one character that I'm having a hard time nailing. Having that list of things that you can go, okay, if I get my work done today, then I get to reward myself by going and picking something off the inspiration list.
I'm not making a note to do this for myself.
It helps, which is how I could also tell that the other project was not working this past month, is because I would go to that inspiration list and I was like, I don't want to live in any of this. This is just not where I want to live right now. That's draining. I don't want to be over there.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
I just got claw my finger. So sorry.
Good. That's what I did. I got my
I actually worked on actually coming into this stream, I think it was, where I was like, I need to make a list of all the stuff that I do. So I did that for my for like my intro, basically, as I went through, and I was like, okay, what do I do? And, put it all down on paper. I'm sure I'll tweak this, because if you think about it, it's kind of like a bio, but we just say it at the beginning and end of streams. So yeah,
that's smart. I always forget.
That was my to-do. And then I had some thumbnails that I needed to make. So I've got all my thumbnails made for this month. And then I have 1.5 videos left to edit for the month. But other than that, I will have, once those 2 are done, I will have everything scheduled for August.
That's awesome.
Nice. I did some self-care. I've been munching on my pistachio nuts, which is great, but I've also was getting very thirsty and didn't get myself a drink. So I was about to start writing. I was like, no, self-care first. Went and got myself a drink. So that was exactly what I needed. And then I wanted to do some more revisions on my draft, not my second draft, but the outline draft. I outline and draft at the same time because the world building. So I wanted to get a little bit ahead on that so I can keep writing each chapter because this is for the Bella that I'm working on. So that way I stay ahead of it. And then we had torrential downpours decided that they wanted to happen. I hope it's not too loud. I don't know. Okay, good. That means StreamYard's doing its job because it's like thunder and lightning. And Loki's not afraid of it, but the other dogs are. And so the other dogs are panicking and he's worried about the older dogs.
Oh.
So if you hear him, that's what it is. They're crying because they don't like the thunder and lightning. And he gets worried when they're worried.
Oh,
Ooh, I heard
Yeah.
that one, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, I love thunder. It's
I
106
do too.
degrees here today. Please send us your rain.
I feel
It's
that.
too hot.
You can have some.
Yes,
It's like
please.
this every day now. Like it'll be sunny, then storm, sunny, then storm.
That's
And everybody's out trying to mow their lawn between the sunny and their lawnmowers. It's all wet grass and they're desperate. It
That's
feels
how
like
we get.
Nice.
open the door. So gross. It's like
That's how
Steve.
we get in the span between, in that small little window of time between spring and summer here in Texas. We get like that where it's like super sunny, like almost 100 degrees, and then suddenly like torrential downpour, and it's like, ooh. And then it's suddenly back to like sunny again, and I'm like, oh.
My
I don't know what
my parents went a couple hours. I'm also in Texas, but like the boring part. And they,
Sorry,
you know exactly where that is.
I do this. I'm laughing.
Yeah. You get there and you're like, look, I can see 3 towns that way. That's where I
know
live.
exactly what you're talking about. I heard from there. He had the nerve to take me there. And he goes, we're going to that town way over there. It took 2 hours to get way over there, but you could see it.
You
in the
can see
distance.
it. That's
I was
where
like,
I
what is
live.
happening?
And so my
Meanwhile-
parents went camping this weekend up to a different area of Texas, and they had to get rescued. They were in a canyon area, and they had flash floods happen. And I didn't know that happened because 106 degrees. Why would I think that it was raining where they were?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Texas.
They went camping and they had to come home.
Oh, no.
Are they okay?
Yeah, they're fine. They're
Okay.
fine.
A lot of
Vehicles
flooding
okay
has
and stuff too? They were able to get that
Yes.
out? Okay.
Meanwhile, I'm in the part of Texas where the town is so small that it's not even on most maps. So
happened.
My town is on most maps.
my town is my town it's growing because of all the people coming down from Austin. But my town is not one of the major ones. It's one of the tiny ones that's like quaint and small, and it's like because it's between 2 bigger towns, so it's like this town, that town, my itty bitty town. There's like 5 minutes between both of them. Like,
Well, that means
so
you
I'm
have
not-
access to all the fun things, but you don't have to like deal with the traffic if you don't want to.
yeah, but traffic is
no,
still
you
bad
do.
going into the town, like and getting out of them. That's still a problem. But,
Oh, I
yeah.
know where Sherman, Texas is, Eva.
Yeah.
I know where that is. It's not near me.
I wasn't prepared to see Loki, by the way, and I just saw his face, and I was like, is this one of those like spoofs where like the dog has human hands? And, like, these little games. Yeah.
He's here
During
with Doc
that
right now.
Yeah. During that time, I edited 4.5 minutes. I was able to delete like almost a whole minute of video for week
Fine.
4, which is good because I'm finishing like a July wrap up today. So maybe I can post week 4 soon and then post July soon. And I was, so I started getting back into these logic puzzles, if anybody gets into them, where you got like a matrix of stuff. And you gotta like with like 8 clues figure out
I love those.
Yeah, figure out the
Mhm.
student,
So
the
much.
score they got, in what subjects they got that score, and in the order they took the test or something like that.
Those are
Like,
my favorite.
Yeah,
Those are
and
great.
so I've
Absolute
out of
bubbles.
12, I've only looked up 3, like before I got it right. But I mean, that's not bad. That's that means I got a 75 so far of getting it right without looking it up.
Oh, Morgan's going to Texas in October.
Awesome.
Morgan, where in Texas are you going? Just general area. You don't have to tell, like.
I've lived in so many places in Texas, like my entire life, like since I was like itty bitty. Because I always, I say that I was born and raised in Texas. Technically, I was not. I was born in Arkansas, but I moved when I was like extremely little, like cannot even remember. And so I've lived in like every part of Texas, like Corpus Christi, like the town I'm currently in. I've lived in Austin, like everywhere.
My husband
I-
was born here, and then he lived in Arkansas, and then his parents went, never mind, and then they moved back to Texas.
Yeah.
You're going, okay, Austin, the fun part. Have fun.
Yeah, fun Texas.
I
I've
lived in
never
San
been to
Antonio,
Corpus
so
Christi, but when I was little, my uncle gave me this shirt from there, and it was my favorite shirt because it was so big on me. It was pretty much a nightgown, and
Yeah.
it was like I would just wear it constantly. Didn't even know where Corpus Christi was.
it's like my daughter wanted a T-shirt that said Las Vegas, and I'm like, you do realize no one's gonna think you got it right. Like, you're 11, you don't.
You got it, but you got it from the airport. Is
Yeah.
what it,
Oh, but going to Vegas, like there were so many people walking around with their kids, and I'm like, why? Like, I'm just there with my husband, like for a purpose of we don't have the kids. We've never had
Yeah.
a honeymoon. This is it.
Yeah.
I've never been to Vegas past the airport, so
I haven't. My parents have on numerous occasions been to Vegas, and I'm like, "You lucky bastards." Like,
I'm
but,
from England.
but yeah.
Oh wow.
Fun plans for
fun. plans
I
for
lived in
August.
West Virginia also and did
Ooh.
not love it.
San Antonio.
I've only lived here and Florida.
I think I've lived in San Antonio at some point too. I've lived across Texas, guys. When I say that, I mean it quite literally.
Fun plans for August.
Yeah.
Oh, Stephanie says that there are Vegas
Ooh,
places that are
nice.
kid friendly.
Yeah, but see, I was walking through the casino floor with passing by families with kids, and I'm like, really?
The casino is not a place for a kid.
No,
Like,
I don't. I
No.
mean, they're supposed to stay on the path. They can't go off the path because they learn the games. But still, I was just like,
yeah.
no.
It's one of those. I was just watching something earlier today where it's like there are places for kids that are kid friendly that are meant for kids. Places that are meant for 18 plus like people, like a casino, are probably
I like
not
it.
where you should take kids. There are kid friendly places in Vegas meant for that, but a casino, I don't know about that.
I would think that they would be bored, right?
Yeah, they're not able to do anything. They have to sit there and watch their parents like gamble away money. Like,
To be fair, though, if you gave me a book and shoved me in a corner, I'd be like, yeah, no, take your time.
well, okay,
I'm
Yeah.
good. I know that
Like
happened when went on a beach trip. I think it was it was like we just
This
did
is
a
exciting.
quarantine beach trip, and it was raining, and everyone was like, "Oh no, we're just gonna hang out on the beach and like wait it out." But there was thunder and lightning, and I'm not about that life. So I was like, I'm just gonna go sit in the car, and if you need to pull the car around, let me know. They're like, okay, are you gonna be okay? I like had a plastic bag to keep my books dry, and I was like,
I'm good.
Don't you worry about me.
Oh, I was gonna say, sorry, this is like side tangent, but I mentioned before we did the sprint, I was going to try to find the link. I found the link to one of the things that I wanted to show, and I left it in the chat.
Okay.
For anyone who wanted to see that. But I'm still trying to find the video that I was initially talking about. But I did find one of them, and I linked that in the comments.
Oh,
But
nice.
Awesome. Very cool. Yeah,
But
I'm happy for your son, Eva, because you guys have been like super careful. And so I'm happy. She has been mentioning that everybody finally could get the little one vaccinated. So I hope that he absolutely loves soccer and that you guys have a great time. You're going to be a soccer mom, Eva. You probably were with your older one, but you get to do it again.
For August, I'm just going to go ahead with my fun plans. And I use the word fun in the loosest of terms here because I didn't realize this was a thing, but I start school on the 15th. So that'll be good. And then I also need to read 9 books that month. That's not to get caught up. That's just to like stay on to like be able to finish. I would have to read 9 books each month for the rest of the year.
Oh,
so
you just reminded me about
that in school. I feel like that's fun, right? That's what we call fun. We're counting that as fun.
Sure.
That's what I was gonna say is that this has been a really fun, a really hard summer, and everybody's going back to school in the middle of the month, and that's going to be a transition. But I'm really looking forward to just having one kiddo in the house, instead of trying to I'm gonna miss the older ones, but it's also really fun to hear about what they do at school.
Yeah.
So my fun plans is to be like, what'd you do? Did you have fun? Who did you talk to?
It's gonna
Tell me about your day. And then they go, it was fine.
It was fine.
What was fine about it?
Things.
I love it was fine. I would just want to hear that it was fine. It was a fine day. Cool. Bye.
It's gonna be weird because right now, so I don't think I told y'all what I do. I mean, y'all could probably guess from what I was saying earlier about my job, but I babysit, and I babysit 2 kids right now, and one of them is going off to school, starting school in August. So that's going to be weird for me because it's going to be a transition from watching the both of them, and they are very much both like they bounce off of each other. They're very much like thing 1, thing 2. Thing 1 does something, thing 2 has to do it or bounces off the other, in both the best and worst ways. So it's going to be weird going from that chaotic, rambunctious energy to just one of them. Because when it's just one of them, it's fine. They're calm. But it's going to be weird going from like the both of them at all times, just like to just one and being like calm.
Yeah.
It's going to be so weird. But
my fun plans are going to be finishing up with the planning and the getting things ready for this wedding, and then having the wedding, and then having the family here until after Labor Day. So yeah, August is going to be very busy, but we're going to call it fun. Because it's going to be great. Because I do miss everybody, so I'm excited to see everybody, but I also know all that's going to be entailed because people are going to want to go places and do things, and trying to keep everybody safe because some of the family members are older, and I'm like, y'all know you're coming down south. Things are different down here than they are up there, so you're going to see people without masks on. You don't freak out. It's okay. And they're like, it's okay. We're prepared. And I'm like, all right. So yeah, it's our first time since all of the things. So
I don't know if anyone's gonna know what I'm talking about, but you said be prepared, and my brain immediately went to that song from the movie Hoodwinked. What's a goat?
Oh
yeah.
You say be prepared.
I went to Lion King.
Playing in my head.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, the goat one. That was funny.
It's playing in my head now, so thanks for that. Random.
We love the Fort Worth Zoo. I've not gotten to go to the Dallas Zoo, Stephanie, but I'm sure it's amazing because the Fort Worth one is fun. Although they're doing a bunch of construction things right now, so most of the fun things will be back in next year.
Yay!
Everyone's
How's
releasing
that?
I know. This is exciting.
release parties everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
See, my thing is that I have a like reading list that I want, and I told myself this year, I was like, you know what, let's not add to it. But then my friends release stories, and then it goes on sale, and so like you're checking off two things that like are my love language. Especially when it goes on sale, and at that point, I'm like, it's 99 cents. Like I can't pass it up. I mean, why wait till later?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My plan
and
for
good luck
August.
with the house. Good luck with the house hunting.
Yes, absolutely.
That'll be huge, yeah.
My plans for August is in the first week, finish making a to-do list for everything that I got to do with my website. And then by the end of the month, by August 31st, I need to share it with the world. So it's mostly done right now. It's just like update my About Me page, maybe take another picture, like a panorama that I need for the Contact Me page, and then like put blurbs for my my works that I have, and then maybe even add extra works in progress like the other ones. But since they don't have pictures, I gotta make a picture in Canva that says like the cover art's in my mind or something like that. And as kind of like a pending action. Yeah, placeholder. And then so I can still do the blurb of like
covered to be revealed.
Yeah.
Whenever I feel like it.
Yeah.
In August,
So,
I would like to get writing done, but I don't know if that's gonna happen because, like I said, things with this job have been crazy. So if I get writing done, I'll get writing done. The chances of it are like this. And if I do, it's gonna again be like just a couple hundred words. It's not gonna be like thousands of words most likely, but it is what it is. I want to get this book written. I've also been having difficulty with it for numerous reasons, but I think I finally had like a breakthrough. It doesn't feel like the entire breakthrough I need, but it's like a part of it. You know what I mean? Like when you have a breakthrough and you're like, there's still more to this, and I still need to chip away at it, but this is progress. Kind of like thing. So I'm hoping that maybe in August I can have that big breakthrough for the rest of it to get it done, or at least get more of it written. There's no way I'm gonna get it done in August. I'll take that back right now. But yeah, I want to get more of it written, but we'll see. But
I've just been, as y'all have been talking, you keep sparking ideas, and I'm like writing it down. We're like, oh, I need to go do that.
Yeah.
I just keep on soaking in the tips and tricks that everyone has for organizing.
Yeah. There's so much good stuff. I was like the idea about the inspiration, and then what you were saying triggered like I need to write blurbs for all of my projects so that I can like put that on my coming soon website. Yeah. Stuff to do.
I get so much joy watching Spencer. My son, who is like Spencer, is very much almost 20. So I'm just like, oh, I remember when my son was just like this.
Yep. He's climbing all over me. His like the way he was sitting was pressing into my shin, and it kind of hurt the bones, so I had to shift on.
Yes.
I was trying not to laugh earlier because while you were talking earlier, he was in the background with the blanket over his head, like this.
It's like,
he shakes my chair and everything. You could have a drinking game. I wouldn't advise it. Might go too far, but right now he's faking asleep.
Are you sleeping?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sweet, sleepy boy.
No, he was faking asleep.
But just got all the badges.
Yes, I'm getting ready to fill mine in. I can't wait. I'm gonna vlog it. Yes, you did it, JC.
Bring it.
The only reason my
Yes.
kiddo is not in here is because he came in to they were drinking milk and he gets it all over his top lip on purpose, and then he shows you that he has a mustache. Look, I have a mustache. So he came in and was like, Mommy, I have a mustache. And my husband like lifted it. Like it looks like, you know, in a cartoon where they have the hook and then they pull the person. That's what it felt like, was just whoop.
The shepherd's
I love
Yeah,
it.
the little
Shepherd's cane.
the
Just like-
cane.
Oh, do you have any plans, Sarah?
The only, not really. It's what do I want to do in August is the thing. I've got to do some more rewrites for Abington House #1 because I want to start querying that at some point this year.
Query with me.
Query.
Come
so I need
query
to
with me. It's
finish
so
the
much
first draft
fun.
version of that. It's the best feeling in the world, querying.
It's so fun.
Yay.
Join
Like,
me.
part of me wants to find a friend who's like querying the same type of book I am, and then like I promise I'll send it for them if they promise to do the. Hey, my mic needs to go this way. I promise to send it for them if they promise to do all the agent research, because that's what I'm not having time for right now, is the agent research, and that's kind of like the most important part. And even though I know if I found someone who was also querying dark women's fiction, I don't care if we're competition for each other. Just I'll help you, you help me.
Yeah.
But I mean, yes, but every time I open my documents, then no. Also, Eva, Dobby's doing really good.
Dobby came up before we went live and has been so sweet, and like you said, you said something about him. He popped up and you went, "Oh, he's what?" And then just, I miss him.
No, what is that about?
I miss him.
So I had actually, between this morning stream with Zara and then coming on here, I had to take a shower and change my clothes just to get all the cat hair off of me, because that's how about he was this morning. I think he's okay.
He's tired of you now?
I think so. I also squeezed him like really hard. Sometimes I just have to hold him firmly until he's like, okay, my love cup is full. I will go away now.
Mine isn't. Come back.
And then during this last sprint, Piper came up and she started doing this thing that's so cute. She's ready to EAT. So she came over and started licking my elbow. And then she like stood up on the chair, which she's not supposed to do. So I was like, it's funny and cute, but she scratches my arm. So I'm like, nope, get down. And I have to be very like, I have to use my mom voice. But also when she licks my elbow, it's really cute.
Yeah.
Ooh, so I'm gonna share a little personal thing with y'all. So I was doing my daughter's nails horribly. She ended up taking all the nail polish off. I don't blame her. I suck at it. But my son saw it, and he wanted his nails done. So I did his toenails, and they're yellow. It's adorable. But it made me realize, because I try to think of myself as very forward-thinking, but I realize I'm not as forward-thinking as I was, because seeing my son's toenails done is weird to me. But I keep on telling myself, Leon, it's fine. Like, I've put makeup on him and everything because he sees Zoe and I doing makeup. Like, I was like, why is this any different just because it lasts longer than wiping off the makeup and everything? I was like, yeah.
Does Spencer borrow his sister's bows? Because my son wants what he only wears it for like 5 minutes, but he wants you to do his hair after I've done the girl's hair. He wants me to do his hair, and this is the bow he's picked for today. So I slide it on there, and then
I could do that too.
About 2 minutes later, he takes it off and he puts it in the hair box because he didn't actually want the bow in his hair, but he wants you to.
It's being a part.
Yes, it's just being part of it.
Yeah, which is fine, and I'm not gonna push it because I heard a great talk where it was like it was talking about kids being older, going through phases. Like I went through a goth phase in a way, in the sense of I was wearing, like, Hot Topic was in business for me. Okay. I had the baggy pants, the change, Slipknot jacket, and all this other stuff, fishnet things and stuff like that. And and I'm fine, and like all that is interchangeable. It's not a sex specific thing whatsoever. And so it was an eye-opening moment that like I apparently have my own I wouldn't even call it prejudice because I still did it and everything, but like I'm not as forward thinking as I thought, which is funny because guys who paint their nails black, I had crushes on them. They were the bands I listened to. But for some reason, Bright Yellow Toes, I was like, yeah. But now, like talking about it, I feel even better about it. Like,
sometimes there's the old ingrained things that are there that we don't even notice until we see it, and then we're like, oh, now I can deal with this. Okay, there we go.
To tie that to writing is that could come across as you're writing these preconceived notions that you didn't realize you had and things that don't sit right. So it's trying to branch out of your own self and make sure you're writing from your character's point of view, not yours.
Honestly, though, I feel like for both reasons, like the writing part and also the self-awareness are both fantastic. And I also think what Nia said and a little bit of like, even if you don't think there's anything wrong with something, branching out and like actually trying it is completely different than being like, no, it's totally fine. People do that. But then it's like, I am people. And when you become people, it's like, oh, I'm a little uncomfortable, not because it's wrong, but just because this is different.
Yeah.
Well, and that was something that was brought up, is that children, like I went through those phases and stuff. It could be a phase and everything. And as a parent, actually, by not allowing your child to do it is guaranteed that they will. Then, so if anything, these people were talking about it. They were like, "Let your kids do it. Chop off their hair. Wear different clothes. They got to try it. They're trying to find what works for them. You know, let them do it.
Yeah.
Now, if you really don't want them to do it, then do it with them. Then they're going to be embarrassed and they won't do it with you. But
like the dad with the short shorts when his daughter was.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
That reminds me, there's actually a study that was done, and it shows that children who are raised being loved like very much, like having open communication and a unconditional kind of love with their parent, are more likely to grow up and become independent and feel safe being independent and then only relying on the parents when they need it, versus children who are not shown that love and compassion are more likely to overcompensate and overreach with their parents and overseek affection and attention from them and become very dependent on them later in life. So it's an interesting thing, because you'd think like give your child space so that they can like figure it out themselves, like yes, to a degree, but you also have to like show them love and stuff like that, like and compassion, so that they feel it's weird. It's like kind of like a reverse psychology type of thing.
Yeah.
But I don't know. But
see, you say give them space, and I try. I mean, I'm trying. But the 11-year-old, I feel like I'm actually headed in the right direction, because I remember one time she was really upset. She's like, "Mom, I got to tell you something." And in my head, I'm like, okay, whatever she says, don't be upset. Thank you, buddy. Whatever she says, don't be upset, because this could affect how she's going to come to you in the future when she has a problem. She was like, I should have been reading 20 minutes each night for school, but I haven't been. And I was like, oh, that's okay. So you told me, thank you for your honesty, and you're going to keep on reading for school. And she goes, yes. I'm like, oh, okay, sweetie. And then when she walks away, I'm like,
yeah, keep doing that. Keep doing that, because I have now, my daughters are teens and one of them is 21, and they will still come to me. But the first time that they come to you and they're like, Mom, I need to talk to you about something. It's like in your panic, and you have to be just like, okay, cool.
Yep.
Let's go talk. And it's usually nothing.
Oh my gosh.
But the inner panic that, like, no matter what they tell you,
the funniest thing is
calm and supportive, no matter what it is.
The funniest thing is that I'm not even a mom, but because I work with kids, I usually will babysit the same family, and so I'm with those kids
constantly over a long period of time.
Yeah.
They do the same thing, and I kid you not, I get the same panic while I'm like, what did you do? Like in my head, I obviously don't say that out loud, but in my head I'm like, what are you gonna tell me? What did you do? What did your brother do?
Yes.
Like kind of thing. Is that
Well,
same
you
internal
can't do
panic.
that. If you come out with the, oh my gosh, what did you do now? Why?
Yep.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah,
they're never going to tell you anything.
Not gonna
So
tell
Oh,
you.
I don't say that out loud. I say that
Yeah.
in my head.
Yes,
I'm very much like,
exactly.
what did you
Yeah,
do?
in your
I
head,
always
it's
tell my
all
daughter,
forms.
thank you for your honesty. And then I tell her, like, there was one time, I found out because her friend outed her. Like, so she was getting off the phone. I was like, hey, kid, it's at past 11. Get off the phone. And her friend, who's on, like, speakerphone, said, okay, are you going to call me after your mom goes away like you normally do or something like that? And I'm like,
Oh.
and my daughter's looking at the phone like, you just outed me. And so I pulled her aside when she got off the phone. I was like, so how many times has that happened this summer? And she says, pretty much almost every night. And I was like, okay, I would have taken your phone, but because you're honest and you don't get rewarded for honesty, I'm going to let you keep your phone. But school starts back soon, and you're going to be waking up at 5 a.m. when school starts back. So you really need to work on getting to sleep earlier. But I made sure again, I was like, I would have taken your phone, but you were honest. So I'm not going to take your phone today.
I'm trying to.
I wish someone would take my phone.
With the kiddos that I babysit, I'm trying to. Part of why I babysit, and this is not the main reason, but this helps, is that not getting into it, I've dealt with a lot of stuff with my parents that was not okay. And I'm trying to teach and grow with the kids that I babysit, because it is kind of almost like reteaching myself through the kids in a way.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to do that like gentle parenting thing where like you don't jump to conclusions when they come to you and are honest with you. You don't come at it with a sense of like judgment, and you don't like scream at your kids when you're angry or anything like that. I'm trying to do that with these kiddos, and it's definitely it's patience. It is definitely a test of patience. But I'm trying to work on that, but it's also super hard because one of the kiddos is like 2, and whenever he gets in trouble, his mom spanks him with a belt. And I do not believe in hitting kids personally because I was hit as a kid growing up with a belt. That was not fun. And so it's hard because I tried to understand that like I'm trying to teach him right from wrong, but he's 2, and I have to come at it from the understanding that like he does not know these things. That's like saying, this because this kid this like first grader understands the concept of adding and subtracting, he should be able to do calculus. No, it's not how that works. He can do basic math. Doesn't mean he can do all kinds of, you know what I mean? Like
we're not born. We're taught things.
Yeah, and
Yes.
it's definitely a test of patience, but that's what you reminded me of when you were saying that, like, because you were honest, I'm not going to do, because I recently just did something like that with one of the kiddos that I was babysitting because I'm trying to get better at that.
Like, if it's not the end of the world. Now, if someone was actually being hurt by her staying up late, she's only hurting herself, really. But if to me, when it hurts others or is like hurting yourself, damaging yourself in a way, can we not slam it? Okay, he said no. And if he doesn't like my hand being there, but otherwise I try to like let her do, and because a lot of things is kind of what you said about independence and such. And it's her getting that independence to realize what the choices she makes and kind of learn for herself.
I think what you're talking about in a sense is the giving kids the space to have consequences, like real world consequences, but you also are the one who's regulating how much consequences are we talking? Like, is this, accidentally setting the house on fire consequences? Or is this, well, now you have to get up in the morning and you're tired because you were up on your phone and you still have to get up consequences?
Because we'll say
Yeah, I tell my kids like because they grew up during the challenges. Everybody's doing the crazy challenges, and people get their legs broken or choked to death on cinnamon.
Oh,
You
the
know, and
cinnamon.
so,
Oh,
Mhm.
Tide
so I would
Pods.
tell them.
Tide.
I said, just say no. I said, you don't need to feel the peer pressure to do it. And I said, if anyone challenges you to do something, text me and let me know. I'll tell you don't do it. And so they just think it's hilarious, but I'm like, seriously, I'm going to save your life. And they're like, mom's the one that saves lives. They're like, text my mom. Don't do that. You're going to do that.
I want my kids
let my mom tell you no.
Yeah, I want my kids to feel comfortable text me. Like, let's say they're not where they're supposed to be, not where they said they were going to be. I want them to still feel comfortable enough to text me, even though they're not where they're supposed to be at all, so that they can get out of a situation that makes them uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I want them to have that understanding with me.
Where the guy's like on his phone and he like goes to his dad and he's like, tell them I can't come out right now. he's like covering. He's like,
my daughter tries to do that to me. I was like, okay, sweetie, because she hates confrontation. I was like, sweetie, you gotta like say you just don't want to go hang out, and that's okay. But unfortunately, she has a friend who's kind of a little selfish and will like gaslight her. And I'm trying to come from a place of like, I don't remember my parents ever getting involved in my friends, the fights I had with my friends and stuff.
Yep.
But something we had to talk about with spanking. I liked the way my parents did it, and it was like after age 5, it never happened, and that was about, my daughter was 7 the last time I spanked her, but it was a third time, and at the second time I said, if I have to come back again, I'm gonna spank you one time, but I'm also gonna spank you another time because you've been warned, and everything. So you're gonna get 2. And it was something of, she just had to help her friends clean because they were all staying in the same room because we were staying with friends. And sure enough, like, and I did good, like 10, 20 minutes later, they didn't do anything. I go up there and I was like, and I calmly said, okay, Zoe, what happens now? And she's like, you're going to spank me. And I'm like, how many times am I going to spank you? 2. Why is it 2? Because you warned me. And like, and had this process of talking through it, not just like out of anger. And and she's the type of kid, kind of like me growing up, I just needed a look, and I was like acting right. My hand didn't sting or anything afterwards. It was, and there no pulling pants down or anything. It was just little pop.
More that disappointment.
Yeah, I'm disappointed in you, and me being calm.
Consequence.
Like, and talking through it, and that was something that I always wanted to do, because my parents would always send me to my room, but they sent me to my room in anger, would calm down, and then come punish me. But I was the kid that I was like, I'm grounded for 6 years, and I don't have any electronics. I can only use candles. Like, that was me as a kid.
I grew up on the opposite of that, where my parents very much spanked us out of anger. Like, it was screaming and yelling at us, and then because we're not responding properly, because we're crying, because we're upset, we're getting screamed at. Well, now because you're not answering me, because you're crying and you're upset because I'm screaming at you, now I'm going to take a belt to your backside, and I'm not going to tell you how many times. I'm just going to do it till I'm not angry enough to hit you anymore, and then I'm going to walk away. That's what I grew up with, and that's why I very much say, like, I believe in what I got. It was a beating,
every kid's different, every adult's different, every parenting is different. I don't parent my son the same way I parent my daughter. I mean, I try to be fair, where I do talk through with both of them and stuff, but at the same time, my daughter just needs a look. My son needs more of a firm voice to go, hey, that is not okay. Stop throwing stuff. Whereas my daughter was like, I wouldn't throw that. Okay. Like, there's a different level.
I think for as a kid, for me, I mean, it was similar with as far as like the way that we were punished, Cass. And I definitely feel that. But it's also, on the other hand, for me, a bigger punishment would have been getting sent to my room, versus if they sent my brother to his room, he'd be like, cool. So I get
that's not where all my stuff is.
By myself with my book in my room.
That was
my son used to say, so and so just gets spanked. It takes like 30 seconds, and because we would take his stuff. Like, go to your room is not good because all of your cool stuff's in your room. It's like, no, you may sit in this section of your room and not touch anything. Oh,
Yeah.
no.
My parents would take the power cords to my electronics.
For sure.
That's why
Oh.
with one of the kiddos I babysit, I make him sit on the couch with me. I'm like, you get to sit on the couch because if I send you to your room, all your toys are in there and you're gonna play. And I know
And
you
we're
well
gonna-
enough to know that.
I would be cruel and I'd be like, and we're gonna watch Murder, She Wrote. And Price is right. You're gonna have the same childhood that I had when I had to stay home sick from school.
I put my
Lots
nephew
of
on the couch
Perry
one
Mason.
time. Oh, I put my son on the couch, my nephew on the couch with me one time. He had a meltdown. I was like, and then I just ignored him, which was even worse. And finally, he just sat up, stopped, and just sat there. I was like, okay, good. Now your punishment begins. And when you sit there for 10 minutes in timeout, then you may go play. The whole time he was having a fit.
I will say that
We're
when I
good
started
now.
to get grounded and they would take away the power cord and the mouse and keyboard, they didn't realize that when you buy a desktop, it has a mouse and keyboard and power cords in the box as well. So I kept those and I hid them. So every time they would take the mouse and keyboard and the power cords and leave me at home, I would just be like, anyway, I've made a whole career out of it. Now I work at IT.
I mean, we were not normal kids. Like, there was a quote or something that was on TikTok. And it was like, most kids were like going to do drugs. I'm sitting here sneaking, reading late night, and like wanting to.
Let's be honest. Yep.
I think that was probably one of the times I expected to get in trouble and I didn't. Was my grandparents used to send us the Reader's Digest after they finished it, so we'd be like 3 months behind on it or something, but we would always get it. And so whenever it came in, I would just like read the whole thing. Well, my dad brought it and he was like, here, like, don't you still need to go to bed early. So in the morning, like, I came down and I'm like so tired. My dad was like, I thought we talked about you going to bed early. I was like, I did. I went to bed early this morning. I didn't get in trouble, and I really thought that I was going to.
I tried to do that to my parents, and I'd get in trouble because they'd be like, "I told you to go to bed early." Like, I did. Like, when did you go to bed? Like 3 o'clock this morning. That's not what I meant. And I'm like, well, you said early. You didn't specify.
I stayed up 24 hours once, and my parents woke up, and I pretended that I woke up. I'm sure they didn't believe it, but I was like, yeah, I woke up early. I'm going to go for a run. I went for a run, and by the time I came back, they were gone. I went to sleep.
Yeah, good time.
Man, when I was a kid, me and my siblings, 'cause I have siblings, we would stay up for like 72 hours at times. And I'm like, how did I do that? I can't even stay up for 24 hours now.
Oh my God. No.
I think
yeah, no.
have
best
all the
I've done
energy when you were a kid.
in recent memory. I think I worked for 16 hours straight, so I think I was up for about 20 hours total.
I was traveling from overseas back, and there was a lot of layovers and stuff, and I had to like check in for the plane, and then it was till like 16 hours that I finally was able to get on the plane and stuff. By the time I sit in the plane, I had 2 guys next to me. They got off I think they must have thought I was like had my drink spiked or something, because they're sitting next to me and I'm just like instantly, like, I am like, if you were talking to me, I would have been slurring my words or something. But that's me. When I'm tired, don't mess with my sleep. I am.
Yeah.
Now, I say that story. That's the only time I've done that, like, intentionally. Like, insomnia is a completely different story.
Oh God, yeah.
I don't even count that because
I'm trying. So, but I'm excited. Okay, so everyone has their August stuff, and I need everybody's like release books. I need Chandra's website. I'll be doing my website. I want to see you editing, revising. I was about to say evaluating, and I'm like, no, that's not the word. And everything. So I'm excited for everybody's stuff.
You said that about the website, and you just reminded me that I started a little mini-series thingy on my blog, and I've just recently updated it, and I'm going to be updating it soon again. You just reminded me of that. I forgot about that. Anyway.
Write it down before you forget again.
Yep.
Before you forget. Right.
That's a good idea,
I hate
actually.
to cut fun conversations short.
It's late
But
for
it
you,
is.
I was
Sarah.
going to say it's very late.
Yeah, I
We're
noticed we're after
yeah,
6,
we
so that's what I
never
was trying to say. I'm
Yeah,
excited
no,
for
I
everything
didn't
upcoming.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
5 hours
You
ahead of everyone
started.
else. Yay.
I know. Time zones.
Time zones suck so much.
Very much.
Thank you guys for joining us today on this writer's wrap up for July. Does everyone want to give a quick outro before they go?
Starting with
Are you
you.
starting with me again? Okay. Guys, I do reading, writing, and analytical content. I have a blog. Your best bet for like contacting me is usually on Instagram or Discord. Um, and I think that's it. I don't really have an outro. Okay, it's your turn, Ashley.
Hi. Thanks for letting me be here for the writer wrap up. I'm Ashley B Pedego. I write stories for children and adults. I'm a singer-songwriter and I host productivity sprints over on Twitch on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and every first, third, and fifth Saturday at 9 a.m. Central Daylight Time right now. And then I also have stuff on YouTube that is not writing related, except that sometimes I write songs, and one of them is up. And so I've got a couple music videos that are up, and another one will be posted this month. And I'm really excited about this one. It's really funny and fun.
Looking forward
And
to it.
I have other things that I do that you can look at on Instagram because I have too many hobbies.
Yes.
And I love them all. And that's it.
Hi everyone, my name's Chandra Arthur. I am an author, tuber, Twitch streamer, and I will be having videos come out 9 a.m. on Wednesdays every other Wednesday. I'm also one half of Flash Fiction Live and the third of Writers Wrap Up. You can also find all the things that I do on my Ko-fi, all of my links, as well as commission me on there for a few different things, so definitely check that out.
And I am Nia, the Vixen of Fiction. I host writing sprints on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. You can join me for that. I have a book/adaptation club called Scripting the Book. Natalie is one of my co-hosts on there, and we have our upcoming lineup. If you like any of these, Good Omens, Coraline, and
Yes.
The Grinch Who Stole Christmas. If you want to join us for any of those, just shoot me a message. That's September, October. Oh, I'm missing one. I know I'm missing one.
Wheel of Time.
Wheel of Time.
November.
So-
Just season 1.
That's chunky.
Just season 1. Just season 1. The first
You know
one.
I'm terrible at separating them linearly. I just remember all the things.
That's okay. We'll put spoilers. So if you want to join us for any of those, you're more than welcome. I host Author Tubers React. We'll be back at the end of September if you'd like to join for that and talk about all of the fun things that are happening in the writers and bookish community. And of course, the writers wrap up. We do this. It's fun.
Natalie Locke, my son's hungry, but he says he's not hungry. But we all know this is because he's hungry, but he doesn't want dinner. Even though, no, first he said he doesn't want lunch, and I was like, it's not lunch, it's dinner. I don't want dinner. So we're getting there.
Yeah.
Links are down below. I will maybe now, depending on this, be on Twitch at 7 going through the final prompt and how I draft it. So I might be tied up and everything. So don't fall for it. I tell him that I got a shot when he was born and now I'm immune. So
Oh yeah.
Mostly because his sister too. But yeah. But now we'll be playing soon and everything. And and then I'll be taking a break, but we'll be back on Flash Fiction Live I guess so. I don't know. I feel like there's other stuff that I do, but right now it's flash prompts. It's just where YouTube, Twitch, pick one. Oh, and IG right now. So
Yay!
you want to press it?
Thank you guys so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.